From my metal scraps, I found some aluminum. Grab this, cut this out. This is something that we will need today. Coilovers on a Focus RS, but you're gonna get warning lights. It's got active dampening when you change drive modes. Cam, what are we gonna do? There's cables that go to each part of the suspension. No one talks about it. No one gives us the answers. I'm here to give you the answers. We're gonna work through this together. Whether we have a solution today or not, we're gonna figure it out. But I do want to get rid of the harsh ride on the Focus RS, so I'm putting some BC Racing BR Series coilovers on it because I know these things are gonna ride smooth. We got a lot of work to do. Let's get straight to it. Hello, my name's Cameron. I've been working on cars for 8 years now, and I enjoy taking complex things, making them simple, giving you a process that you can follow so that you can do things that you never thought you could do, because building confidence in the garage is what I hope that this channel does for you, as well as CarMaSpeed.com, my company. If you want to get some merchandise to represent you as a car enthusiast that enjoys wrenching on cars, having a good time with your friends, you can get your parts there as well, even these coilovers we talked about today. All that link down in the description. At the deepest level, you can join our community. With all that being said, I got my toolbox here ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and do the passenger side, whiz through that myself, and then pick up with you on the driver's side. So first thing we need to do is get all 4 wheels and tires off though, and we're going to run through that real quick in case anyone hasn't done it out there. And even before we put that in the air, I want to see what's inside this box. One of the most important things for my toolbox, that's why I have 2 of them right here ready to go. Product warranty. These have a 30 click rebound adjustment for the dampening. These do have a camber plate, which we'll touch on. Jack stand in the front, jack stand in the back. Got my gloves on. Jack on the pinch weld. She put a little bit on the plastic of the car. To keep this side from floating, I like to have the back one a little higher right here. That one is a click or 2 higher than this. You can see where that one goes. Let the jack out slowly. And both have weight on it, which is ideal. Check, check. You are gonna need this to assist you down the road. It's weird having the rear end higher, but when you try and get this level, the rear will just float. Let's do a little check. Put some weight against it. Make sure the car doesn't shift in any weird way. Pull this vent off, pull the other side off. This seal right here, we want to pull it off. Up top, there's some push pins, the plastic push pins. This is the tool I use to get the push pins out. There's a couple different options of tools, but I always have an Amazon list in the description where you'll find everything I'm using. The next tool we're gonna need is a T30 Torx. Make sure our ratchet is in the off position, and we have one of these bolts on each side. Where this vent was, there's a 10mm bolt on each side. From here, these 2 pieces of plastic should separate. We can remove the lower piece. Now we have complete access. 1, 2, and 3 bolts that hold the top head on. Now we don't have to remove the windshield wipers or anything. To get that bolt out, we're gonna need a 13mm. I have the luxury of using swivel head sockets. These are nice because we're kind of getting in here at an angle. You don't need this, but it makes life easier. Use one of these extensions. This is for the important stuff. This one and this one are removed. I left this one on purpose. We'll do that one last to let the whole thing down. But it's important you leave the one on. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. I just did the other side and it went really smooth. All my coilover experiences over the years adding up, and we just did Parker's extreme lows that you'll see. I'll plug at the end of this video. You guys can go watch. We did it in this garage. This is gonna be smooth sailing. Let's get into it. Step one, the brake line support, 8 mil. Use a ratchet. If you've never used a power ratchet, it's one of the best things ever. Go ahead and save yourself some effort, and we're gonna move this little collar up, slide it left and right. Slide, slide, slide. You must have to like rotate it up. Okay, that should be enough. We'll adjust it later if we need to. ABS speed sensor. It's gonna be held in. You're just gonna push it back off of that little plate. Let this dangle. Then this right here, you're gonna pull it out of that clip. I just pulled it out right there. Now it's fully free. Amazon list is key. Things like this are always on there. PB blaster. I'm gonna do it around the ring. Just a little bit, let it soak in there because this is gonna need to separate. And then this is gonna make it easier to get this nut off of here, of the sway bar end link. So I'm gonna soak those threads as well. 5mm Allen head socket or an Allen key. Gonna attach it to my ratchet. Make sure it's in the on position, backwards, remember? And then we're gonna twist this nut left. Luckily I have a ratcheting wrench. These are all ideal tools. This has been the smoothest I've ever done this job. So if you wanna go out and spend money on tools, you can. If you don't, there's always ways around it. Usually, I'm gonna try and break this loose. Now, using the ratchet, just holding it still, I can use the ratcheting wrench to get this off. This one just feels like it takes a long time because it's got corrosion on it. That's why I did PB blaster. This one goes even slower if you don't. And it likes to move around, so that's fun. It's just tough the whole way. Just gotta work it out. Bicep curls right now. Home stretch. I can do the rest by hand. We need to get this whole thing to move up. Putting it under the brake rotor shouldn't take much. Literally letting itself out right now. Save this. This is where it starts to get interesting. I'm gonna lower my jack. I have one bolt up top. I'm actually gonna go up with it a little bit, put a little tension on it. I hate to say it, but oh my gosh, this has been one of the best purchases I've ever made, and I'm gonna use it right now. It's just there's a weird spot where you're always cracking things loose that a gun can't get to in here. 15 mil, 3/8 drive, long flex head. This is the bolt we need to get to that holds the bottom of the strut. So being careful, break it loose slow so I don't hit the fender up here. Cheers to the time saver. This is when you need a metal plate. I have a piece of aluminum here that I had left over, some scrap that I cut new square. I like this bolt and I don't want to mess up the threads on this bolt, so I'm just going to soak it. So I'm gonna take my scrap piece of metal, aluminum, slide it in the back here. There's a little spot, you can slide it in. And then I'm gonna take this bolt and thread it in backwards. And that bolt, hitting that metal, going in backwards is going to separate what clamps the bottom of the strut. Doesn't take much, but it will pry it apart quickly. All right, we're going in. Here's what that setup looks like. So that's gonna pry that apart. I have that jack supporting it still, not that it needs to be. I wanna push it out of the way. So now when I push down on this, it'll let it free. And so what I've learned is that like if I pull the rotor towards me and try and push it down, it doesn't work. If I push it in a little bit so that the rotor is more flat and it has less camber, it almost has more negative camber towards that direction, and then push down, I'll get a lot more travel and it'll want to slide off. So you kind of can wiggle it around, get it nice and loose, and then you're just gonna dance with it for a bit. And then I push on it with my foot. Okay, now it's out. That's great. We have that bolt over here. I'm gonna remove it. You're not gonna be able to see me, but I'm gonna start loosening that last bolt. And there is a cable attached to this for the active dampening we need to get rid of. It's a little different on this side. I have a feeling I'm gonna need help, so we're gonna find out if we're gonna need help. Up top, I think I need to remove this. Oh, here it is, it's up here. So it's up in this corner. Oh, it's like a pry tool, okay. This tool worked perfect. With this angle, slid it up in there, popped this out. Now we can disconnect it right here. Pull it out. Now I can feed this through. This will let me free. For the passenger side wire, right here is where it disconnects. See this push tab? This presses on to that tab right there. So this is a little mounting spot where this thing hangs out. You can get your pry tool in there, pull this tab away, it will slide off. Then this will be in here like that, and out where my finger is, it goes to the stock strut that I already removed. Now I'm just showing you this so you know what you're doing when it comes to the wiring part. So to get this piece off, you have to push this and this out. This flathead screwdriver I have fit perfect, and I was able to get them out. And then it opens up like this. Then this cable becomes free, and it has that square little tab. I took my pick, got under the edge a little bit, and then this separated. Once you do this, then you can slide the strut out. Now I can pull this out. This is the third set of coilovers I've had at the house in this garage. Speed 3, Parker's Focus ST, and then these. Everything's been tight every time, everything's set up, all the lockers are tight. So we're gonna do an experiment where we find out the box, where does the ride height sit, what does it look like? And before I put any of these in, dampening adjustment tool, you slide it in the top, click, click. I slid it all the way one way and then backed off 15. So it's 30 clicks total, halfway between soft and hard. Let's see what that does for us. Same with the rear shock. I did that 15 also. Then the perch in the rear, I'm leaving it where it came from out of the box. Let's see where it leads us. I'm gonna say a little bit lower. What if it's way off? Who knows? But now we can slide this in the car. I'm gonna take off each nut. Obviously have to do that. I looked up inside there. The edge of the corner is gonna go towards us. I pushed it up, and with the other hand I was able to get one nut on, so it's held in place. Pushing with my foot, I was able to get it in place, and I'm putting each washer and nut on top. The annoying one in the back, I'm just using a ratchet. So let's get this lined up, get it to slide in. I just did something wrong. I took the metal piece and the bolts out of the backside. That still needs to be there. With enough pressure from the jack on the bottom, coilover slid in. Now I'm gonna take the bolt and thread it through the correct way. And there is a tab on the back side of this coilover to align it in that gap. So I made sure that was straight before I put pressure on it from the jack below. You can see the jack there. Let's tighten this up. Get the long guy. Leverage is key. See, this needs to go up still. Now that's a good amount of line up top, a good amount of play down below. Ready for my 8 mil here. Doesn't take much to tighten that one. Now we need to get the sway bar. Notice, oh, we might get lucky. Oh, we're so lucky. When I did the other side, you can't get the sway bar end link in. So what you do is you put pressure with the floor jack on the opposite side. So when I was doing that side, I had a jack under this and I pushed it up, lined it up just right with the hole on the other side, and it went in easy. Don't force these things. This bracket goes like this. Get the nut started. Now I play the game with the wrench and the Allen head again, but switching this to off, switching this to tighten. I get my workout in again, but it's gonna be a little easier because I PB blasted it. That's snug. Take my speed sensor, tuck it in, this little guy, slides right in. Safe. Brake line's good, check. Bottom of this is mounted tight. Both collars tight. Your spring should be able to spin just tight enough to be spin freely in there. Up top, the 3 nuts up here, tight. Let's do the rear. This isn't necessary at all, but I like to reset every time with my tools. Just OCD. Go into the rear clean, not make any mistakes, only grab what I need. This is just like therapy. Everything has its place. It's gonna find its place. Onto the back, and I want to take the bottom strut bolt out, and it's right here. 15 millimeter on a long 3/8 ratchet. That flex head is so huge in situations like this. This one is a workout too. Rest out my hand. And now we want to remove the lower control arm bolt. Nobody got time for that. Get my arm out of the way. Whoa. Kids, pay attention. I'm not proud of that because, well, first off, threads are good, thank the Lord. That happened because I tightened the other side and it has a sway bar connected to it. And we raised the other side so the car is lower. So it created a bunch of tension on this side. Because on the other side, when I did it without you guys, it came down super smooth. Cam's not thinking straight. I put a bunch of tension on it when I buttoned up the other side and kaboom. So don't do that. Be very careful. What I would do is put this under here, undo the bolt, and then you can control how fast you lower it. But we're all good. Now we can remove the stock strut, 13 mil on an extension. Disconnecting the dampening wire from the back. Pry up on it. Once you get in here, I wouldn't do this without a pick if you don't plan on breaking it. It's really annoying that I just said that. I totally jinxed myself and got cocky. I got this one off clean. All you gotta do is get a pick right on this, under this ledge and then lift up. So both of these are clear and you can see the top of the rear strut. We'll come back later and clean this up. Now we can slide Mr. DC. Cool beans. Time for the spring. Get my jack ready. So I'm gonna twist the spring till it hits the bottom where it needs to. Has a specific happy place. Okay, that wants to stay there. Medium sized pry bar. There it goes. Oh, it's about right there. The bolt with the big flat spot. Cool. Now I just need to get the bolt on the shock. Okay, I think that's in. It's all about the perfect angle to get that bolt. 15 mil, now I can just tighten it the way I took it off. Got him. That'll do it. Now I can take the weight off. Cool. Clean up, clean up. Just kidding, we got more to do. I need to button this top up. So all three of those bolts are tight. I'm gonna put this back up in there. How convenient. I have my own little bucket for all the bolts just for this piece. T30s on each side. They are 10s. There you have it, folks. Time to put the stocks on and see where the coils sit. Let's lower this side first. There might be a chance, my friends, that this could be close to where we want to be, at least close enough to where we'll dial it in after the new wheels, which are getting put on tomorrow. Ooh, okay, okay. Dang, is it low enough in the front? I don't know, we're getting a little bit bigger tires, a little bit. I'm thinking we're gonna end up raising the rear a little bit, but that looks pretty good. You don't wanna go slammed in a RS because you wanna drive it. You wanna drive it hard. I'm gonna go take it for a rip. It's funny looking at it, like I'm standing next to it, it's quite a bit lower. curious what the light's gonna be, so I'm gonna press the drive mode. Is it gonna freak out? Drive mode selection not available. I was stressing for a sec because I was like, oh no, I can't even get in sport mode, and that will open up the exhaust valve. It does let you do sport mode. Does it let you do drift mode? It does! Let's see if it freaks out once I start driving. Oh, so you only lose track mode. Well, I'm chilling until we figure out a solution for this, because I do want a solution. We'll go more in depth, but first drive out, no weird noises, and it actually feels like a normal suspension now. It's not rough. I'll be taking you to Canyon Lake soon to see how the BCs are, but around town it's already smooth. I hit all the bigger, more annoying bumps around my house and no weird noises or anything. It handled it really well. I'll be putting the wheels and tires on tomorrow. We'll get the fitment dialed also, and you're gonna see this car just pop. I can't wait. This thing is gonna be a neck snapper after tomorrow. Join me in roasting my 16-year-old cousin for putting BC extreme lows and slamming his Ford Focus ST. We had a little family get-together, installing some coilovers. We made sure to let him know how we felt, including his own father. Hope to see you over there.